A very warm welcome to each one of you here on episode 18 of the Nature's Orbit Torchlight series. It is my utmost honor and privilege to have with us Mr. Shashank Nimkar, founder and CEO of Earth Tatva. Shashank is the founder and CEO of Earth Tatva and is a multi award winner designer who practices circular design to industrial design, animation, and policy framing. He is recognized as a circular economy pioneer by Ellen MacArthur Foundation and has been facilitated with some prestigious awards at Dada Saheb Phalke Film Festival and James Dyson Award. His work has been featured in more than 2 dozen national and international prestigious publications like Forbes, UNDP, and events like Global Grad Show, where only 100 best graduation projects around the world are exhibited in Dubai every year. Earth Tatva started as a student graduation project through an epiphany moment during an industrial visit. The organization works towards reducing mining for natural resources by 60% by making products from recycled ceramics. Their recycled ceramic material is 35% stronger than conventional ceramics, is 100% recyclable, and uses lesser energy to fire, essentially doing more and better with less, directly supporting United Nations Sustainable Development Goal SDG 12, responsible consumption and production. Their effort is to mainstream circular economy in the Indian market and globally. So Shashank, that's a very nice introduction, and it's a really privilege to have you here. Uh, I'll start with asking you to please let us know about how Earth Tatva started and the life-altering moment during the industrial visit that was mentioned earlier. Can you let us know more about that?
Sure. And thanks, Aditya, for inviting me today. Happy to be here on the 18th episode. While I was pursuing my master's in industrial design, I kept thinking that how will I add value to the ecosystem as a designer or as an individual? Because this is something that was going on in my mind, that most of us as designers eventually keep making iterations of existing products, and we keep trying to add value through changing the ergonomics, the material, the finish, or the colors and other dimensions of it. And so, but how, if 100 people or 100 designers are already doing it, thousands of them are doing it, how will I really add value by doing something similar, by making my own version of an existing product? So this is a thought that kept tinkering my mind all these years while I was doing my master's. And then uh, one fine day, we visited an industrial cluster of ceramic manufacturers. And there we saw these heaps of production rejects that were thrown on the roadside outside the factories. And that was actually my epiphany moment to realize that archaeology is actually based on this fact that ceramics don't biodegrade for centuries. We excavate these ancient sites and find these centuries old clay utensils and idols. And that's when I made the connect that industries today are facing serious issues about what to do with their production rejects. Because with the pollution control board getting stricter every year, they are facing challenges about how do we really manage this waste, because they can't, it doesn't go anywhere, it doesn't biodegrade, it doesn't rust, and you cannot hide it under the land. So how long are you going to hold it up? And that's when I started working. So after 1 year of this visit, I started working on this project as my graduation project, as a self-initiated brief, to explore what all we can do to reuse this waste and hopefully to reduce the use of natural resources. So that is how it actually began.
Okay, okay. Wow, that's very interesting. How many students actually take that up through a visit? I think this is very inspiring for students to take things up seriously, and pursue it. So that's awesome. Thank you for that. And like, how did Earth Tattva start? That
So
you coined the name Earth Tattva. How did that happen? Yeah.
okay. So During my project itself, our ceramic department at NID, National Institute of Design, Ahmedabad, we completed 50 years as a department at the institute. So we were organizing a event for that. And for that, all the student batches and faculties were together brainstorming about what should be the name of the event.
Okay.
And that's when one of my juniors suggested this name for the event because it goes so well with what we do with ceramics because it's the material of earth from the earth. But of course, that wasn't chosen for the event, but the name stayed with me because it makes so much sense. And then when we got a good response for the project and I decided to turn it into a venture, I thought, okay, this is a name that should be given for the brand because it's good. I mean, it's a universal phrase as well because it's both universal international language as well as a regional term. So it resonates quite well.
Yes, yes. It's like local, basically,
Yes.
globally local or locally global. Yeah, that's nice. And I being an MBA student myself, I've experienced brainstorming sessions on event names and also whatever you just said now, and how names come up and that they stick on. Yeah, I mean that's really very interesting. A lot of young people can definitely relate to that. Yes, and
And
not.
fortunately, a domain name was also available.
Wow, wow. Yes, it all works out, the universe makes it work because the cause is so noble and it's so, profound. Then that's very nice to know. So, can you share how your products are made through recycled ceramics in terms of the process and the people involved?
Sure. So we right now are processing pre-consumer production rejects from the ceramic manufacturers themselves. So these rejections are actually sent to a private landfill within the cluster itself. And then, as per the need, there is a huge crusher that is set up there, which is again a different venture. And they crush this ceramic waste into a very fine powder, which is called pulverization. And then this powder is sold back again to the industries themselves. So they use the powder form of it as their raw material. So they are using 2 to 3% of this recycled material as their material composition. And then what we
Okay.
do is we of course procure this pulverized form of waste. We use 60% of that as our raw material, which is added with our patented clay composition and water that acts as a natural binder, which is then mixed in a machine called ball mill, and then it we get a liquid material which is called slip, and then that is casted into plaster molds. The molds could be of any shape. Right now, we are of course choosing to make tableware out of it. And then once the
Okay.
cast is complete, we finish it, and then it's fired once, which is at 900 degrees Celsius, which is called biscuit firing. During this firing, the clay becomes permanent. It so the water evaporates from it, from the molecular water, and then it's an irreversible process. And then you cannot dissolve the clay back. Once the bisque firing is complete, we apply glaze over it, which is a kind of a layer of glass on it, and then we refire it again at 1200 degrees Celsius. Once that firing is over, we get a finished product.
Oh, wow. I mean, a lot of firing and a lot of heat is involved, I guess, right?
Yes, that's the highest energy consuming process in ceramics.
Okay. So, are you able to like protect yourselves properly from the heat?
Yeah. So that's a closed furnace, anyways.
Okay, great. I'm just imagining when you said like how many times you need to fire it, like how hot it could be. But yeah, I mean, but that the result would be the finished product, right, of the
Yes.
ceramic. So, can you let us know, provide us details of the different types of products of Earth Tatva?
So right now we have started with making tableware with Tattva mix, which is our recycled ceramic material. And we chose to make tableware because in the ceramic industry, tableware is the only product that the end users choose to buy themselves. If we start making tiles or sanitary ware or any other similar products, there are a lot of people in the sales pipeline who might influence the decision making of the end users or the buyers.
Okay.
Uh, and to avoid that, we have started making tableware because people who are inclined towards using such products they can directly make a decision and start buying and probably start gifting as well. Also, tableware products act as stock triggers on dinner tables. So these products help us to initiate conversations about conscious consumerism and also help us for word of mouth brand propagation. So we right now our product is coffee mug and bowls and six different color ranges. But soon we'll be expanding into different other products as well.
Well, that's brilliant. In that ad they say, "Na, a lot can happen over a cup of coffee."
Yes.
So if you're talking about coffee bowls, as you said, na, the communication happens there. And
Also, uh, sorry to
no, that's what I was saying.
interrupt, but
Instead of just casual conversations, you can have a lot
yeah,
of talk about responsible consumption. Yes. Yeah. Please tell me.
yes, exactly. So also, there is a big challenge to use high recycled content and yet make a food safe product. So that's also a challenge that we wanted to take up and make products which are also 100% food safe and microwave safe, yet contain high recycled material.
Okay. Okay. So that's a major challenge, and you are overcoming that challenge basically
Yes.
to make that kind of a product. Okay.
Hmm.
And what I could ask is, what are all your efforts to a mainstream circular economy on the Indian market and globally? Like, what are your efforts to do that? And what is your vision for the future?
So our efforts are twofold. One is the D2C vertical that we are building, the brand Earth Tatva itself, so that we can have the right communication and raise awareness among the consumers about circular economy and to make mindful choices about whatever they buy and the post life of that product as well. And second is the B2B vertical, where since we have the patent for this metal composition, we are working towards licensing it to existing manufacturers so that at their scale we can have a bigger impact, and hence circular economy in the ceramic sector will become mainstream as we move ahead over the years. So this is how we are trying to incorporate and promote circular economy in India and in other countries as well.
Okay, and you said D2C and B2B.
Yes.
These are the ways business to business, right? Uh, and
Yeah, D2C is direct to consumers, which is
direct to
through our
consumers.
e-commerce website.
Okay, you we saw that like we are understanding how you are practicing circular design through industrial design. How would you do that through animation and policy framing?
So I did animation for my undergraduation, and that knowledge actually helps me to share stories or information that we need to share in an interesting way, perhaps. So for a couple of times, it happens that we had to apply for a few workshops or competitions, and it was a mandate that we had to share a video about explaining how we are incorporating circular economy in our work. And that's when understanding of animation came handy, because instead of me speaking about our work in front of the camera, I made a whole short animated video explaining the whole process, which actually got quite a few eyeballs and got us a lot of recognition at different platforms. So that ways, using a tool like animation to promote circular economy helps quite a bit. And second, I am also involved with a few institutions, where we are trying to frame policies for India so that we can incorporate and accelerate circular economy.
Okay, so that's awesome. And is your animation 2D?
Yeah, so digitally I do 2D animation, and but I specialize in stop motion animation, where we make these miniature sets out of out of different materials and then move them frame by frame.
Wow, superb. That's really great. Stop motion is the in thing now. As you are aware, Pinocchio won the Oscar. That's stop motion, right?
Uh,
Yeah, yeah. I can just imagine that is a great way, and that people are really watching that and appreciating it now. So that could be used very extensively. Yeah,
yes.
you are aligned to the Sustainable Development Goal, UN Sustainable Development Goal 12, responsible consumption and production. Why are you aligned to that? Like, and And how do you intend to raise awareness on the sustainable development goals amongst youth?
Since the very beginning of my career, or even during my school days, I was very inclined towards materials, different kinds of materials. I used to explore a lot of crafts with different materials. And then I used to make even stop motion short films using scrap materials or leftovers from my previous projects. So that's how I think I'm more interested into materials more than any other SDGs. And because it's about the material and we are trying to reduce the consumption of virgin materials, that's how we are contributing towards SDG 12. So we didn't specifically choose that to work upon, but then while the project developed, that is what our focus kept moving towards.
Yes, and actually, if you look at it in one way, when you focus on one, you're actually focusing on they're all interrelated actually, all the sustainable development goals. And slowly you'll realize that you're fulfilling on most of them when you're actually fulfilling on one, or one
Exactly.
or two or three. So you can choose three or four, but actually you end up, actually, it becomes all round, 360 degrees. Yes,
Yes.
and circular
And
design, circular economy is the next, is the future now. It has to. This is the next thing. It has to happen. Yeah.
uh, and it's all interconnected. That's how the whole system is built upon.
Yes. Yes.
And that's how the natural ecosystem is as well.
Yes. Exactly. Yes, and that's what the youth, can focus on. That's the future for the youth. Yes.
Exactly. And yes, about raising the awareness. So I am also associated with a few educational institutes where I take sessions with students about circular economy or design practices in general, so that we can actually design for repairability, dismantlability, and for its post-life use as well.
Okay. So, are you planning to increase the number of institutes you'll be doing these courses in, like, or is it just like a certain limit, or is it like you're looking to expand that?
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, I am open to any kind of opportunities where the institute has such kind of opportunities to be incorporated in their existing courses. And second, we are also now coming up with our own live sessions as well as recorded courses for students, okay, so that they can find the right brief to work upon. Because as designers, what happens is, because we can make things, anything that we work upon can be turned into a reality. But the point now is to really find something that is meaningful to work upon. So we are developing courses which would help students to find the right brief to work upon and then incorporate SDGs in their projects.
Yes, absolutely. See, climate action is one goal, but then with climate action comes the pretext to climate action is climate literacy. So I think
Mhm.
that is as important. So without being climate literate, if you're climate literate, then taking climate action and sustainable development will take it forward much more.
Yeah.
Yes, thanks for sharing that. And Shashank, what is the message you'd like to give to the youth of our country regarding climate action and the consequences of not taking action?
So consequences, I think we all are facing already. In every region across the globe, there is some kind of climate change that we are already experiencing. So I think that's already there. And to share my thoughts, one is that we all have to do our part, and drop by drop, things will change eventually. So if we keep thinking that if I mean, what will happen if I don't do things, a lot would actually happen, and a lot would also happen positively if you actually take the step forward. So that's something that basically it starts with us. And if you already have something in your mind, whether it's changing a habit or maybe starting a project, if it's still on your mind for such a long time, it's definitely worth giving a shot.
Yes, exactly. That's a very good message to the youth. Especially you have done it on the court. Uh, giving it a shot. You have done it yourself from an industrial visit, and that has led to this creation of such a wonderful, process and design to lead to a circular economy. And we really wish you all the best for all your efforts uh, in this regard. And I also wanted to ask you one thing, like about your products. so that the viewers can know about this. Where are all your products available? In which platforms?
All our products are available right now on our website, earthtatva.com. We
Okay.
will soon be increasing our production, and then we'll list our products on other marketplaces, as well as have our products uh, on the shelves of some offline uh, places as well.
Wow, superb. So yeah, so I just wanted to give the viewers a word that please go onto the website earthatva.com and select your products, and because they're available for you, and you do your part for creating a circular economy. So I would really thank you, Shashank, for being here, and it was wonderful speaking to you. And it was very generous of you to share your about your journey, about what your vision is, and what you are aligned to, and what you want to create for the world. And we really wish you all the best.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And it's a privilege for Nature's Orbit to have you.
It's my honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Shashank. Yeah.